and during half guard. So guys, Liam has like a knee shield half guard on me, okay? And we always tell you guys to play this, correct? Because with a knee shield half guard and with strong frames, you get a lot of space. That way the person has to first peel your frames to be able to gain access to your upper body, okay? So he's doing a good job of frame. So first thing we gotta get rid of, I can't just jump towards his head. I gotta focus on what's there in front of me, okay? So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna try to collapse this as best as I can. So some people just like literally push it down, but we're gonna try to get this out of the way this way. So my right hand is gonna go under it, and my left hand is gonna go on top. This is just to assist, okay? And I try to go right in front of the knee, okay? Right here. So right on top of the knee actually, so boom, boom. My goal is to get this just enough so I can move my body around it, okay? I don't need to get it out of the way completely. So I go 1, 2, I push it, and from here, I already tell half of my body is exposed. Then watch this switch that I'm gonna do. My left knee is gonna go right here to the hip. My right knee is gonna come up. Almost like I'm gonna go do like a knee on belly stance like this. Okay, so I go 1, 2. As I do this, I know that I can pivot myself. I keep my right hand hugging his leg while my left hand is gonna reach over. The goal is for my elbow to reach this side. So I go like this. Okay, so my left knee, it's either gonna go right here underneath his thigh to kind of carry his leg. If you notice, like he cannot bring this knee down to the floor. I can also move my knee as far up, his arm was in the way, as far up to his hip. But I do find that a lot of times I can end up right here, carrying his leg like this. So what are you gonna do here, Liam? You're gonna try and go, no. Okay, relax. Relax a little bit. We're not rolling yet. You're just gonna, simply this is what a reaction I want. You're gonna trap my leg. That's first. If you do that, if you do what you did again, do what you did again, I'm out. You know what I mean? I'm already passing. So right here, you just triangle it like exactly. That's his reaction. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my left hand to control his hip and my right hand to control his hip as well. Okay? What I'm gonna do is scoot myself back first, without letting him gain access to following. So both my hands on the hip. The next thing I'm gonna do is push the knee and fit my left knee underneath it like this. Okay, so now that my left knee is underneath, it creates a wedge on that hip itself. Okay, now my right hand is gonna transfer from a push to a pull, and all I need to do is pull his leg, because if my left knee was not there, if I pull, bring your knees up, he's gonna do this. I'm feeding my own leg into it, right? But if I feed my left knee in, like so, there's a wedge on that bottom leg, which is my shin and my ankle. So now if I pull at this leg, that bottom leg is not coming with it. And that creates the opening for you to be able to pass. So once you pass, we go back to the hip control, and we turn hip, and we fix our side control after. All right, you okay? Let's do it again. So half guard. We're here. We go 1 under, 1 over. This is the assisting hand, but this one stays, correct? This is all I want. I pivot myself, I reach my arm over, like this, and see if you can use this leg to carry and this leg to go underneath. So since his arms are behind me, he's probably gonna wanna push me back further. So there's less weight on his upper body, which is why I hold his hip, I can hold his hip, or I can hold his knee, and I push myself, I scoop myself until most of his body's now flat. Okay, so it's hard for him to recruit his upper body to come up. Boom. Now, push the knee a little bit, or just control it, whatever you want. Sometimes I also like to do this. I'll keep his legs locked, that way he has less access to his legs. I can grab the ankles, many options in terms of gripping. And I look at this little transition I do with my foot, my left foot. I turn my toes down to the floor so I can lift my hips to slide my knee inside. Okay, so this is just to make it easier for you. My left foot turns down, I lift my hips, I slide it back in. Okay? Right hand is now gonna single out the back of his thigh. Knees wedged, we pull up. Let's say he's very strong. Let's say you try to lock your triangle. Okay, like this. I'm gonna have to kind of like use both of my legs to stretch forward like this, creating more of a distance. You see, that bottom leg moves back, meaning if I pull, more of an opening is gonna happen. Take that leg out. And if here, this left leg is wedged under his hip, we're gonna replace that with my hand. Yeah, I'm okay. Hang out like this, and later, take that position. Okay, last one. Over here. Boom. I settle in a little bit, so I don't rush going backwards. I get here first, get tight. If you feel like you can move back just without the help of your hands and head, do it. Move back. Okay? You can grab here if you want. You can just push a little bit. Fit your knee. Grab the thigh. Feel free to extend your legs forward. Pull for your leg. Place the hands. Fix yourself for second lap. Cool? Let's go. 2 and 2. Go guys. You wanna see? Yeah. Give your partner. Yeah. Hey, nice scratch guard. Yo. What up? Yeah, you guys together. So get rid of the shield to go under. This is on top. Just enough to pass my midpoint. And watch how I kind of just move around your legs. I start moving myself back. So you're gonna triangle your legs. Triangle like this. Grab like this. Right? Or I can carry the leg like this. Or I can just hold the thigh like this. Sometimes also control his hips. Whatever you like, get yourself back. This is part of the pass. Okay? So when do you get the try? Now pull at the top thigh. One, two. Right, go away.
Your body.
Okay. Can we show one more time for Alex? Start moving back, not moving like this. Go like this, pushing on the hip, no problem. Slide your knee in. And grip. Finish the pass. Elbow goes right here. Under elbow here. Slide your left knee right here. No, just your right. Rock your left. Guys, you're going to have to kind of play around with the timing and your landing and your ability to control that arm. Okay, so Liam, let me use you again. Okay, I got Liam here. So a lot of times, like when the person's framing well, this arm's going to be like so much in your way to the point where if you're trying to attempt it, you're going to have to go over that arm like this. Okay, which is fine because even if the arm is, when he doesn't want this left, he doesn't really want his arm to be in here. Okay, it may feel, some people may actually feed their own arm in here, but it's a mistake because you're letting me single an arm out, correct? So my landing stays the same, my knee comes in, I drop to my hip, I try not to drop on his arm, okay? And I'm here. I can grab now his wrist and create a Kimura grip. And sometimes within that pass, the moment I start moving up like this, notice I'm like keeping control of his hip, I push it down, or I push his knee down. All it is so, notice when I push his hip down, or I cup both of his hips, it's so to keep his hips kind of flat, right? His hips flat, his whole body is flat. That's my goal. So he's here. Alex likes to create a little bit of an opening, like this. He just raises himself up, and then pause, relax. Relax, Liam. I'm gonna have to give you a chill pill after this, eh? I'm here, and Liam, this little hole, bring your arm in here, like your elbow. Yeah, because people think that applying something up here will help, trying to bridge me over, like, but it's not gonna work. Because I have this foot, notice this foot that I told you about earlier, the foot that's able to turn downwards, this one. Very simple detail, but this saves you a lot of scrambling. This will have your weight forward immediately to stop him from doing anything, just this foot. The same foot you use to get this knee in here, okay? So that's your backup right here, this foot turned down. So I'm here, I create the grip with the Kimura, and now I push his own wrist onto his hip, creating the same knee pin, okay? The pin that I'm trying to do. And from here, I can even like wedge my own foot and free myself from here. So from here, wedge my knee. I can lift the same way, fit myself. And from here, sometimes I can just pull my leg out, creating like a little ballerina foot like this. If you pull like this, you're gonna get caught, correct? So here, we have him pinned, he's flat. Feed myself, and use my wedge to kind of push him out of the way. If you wanna finish the Kimura, plant his wrist onto the floor, and I'm gonna be facing the opposite direction. So I'm gonna switch my hips, throw it over. So now, I can't finish it here. The wall or the floor is in my way. So by pushing the floor, I can now lift his shoulder up, creating more space for me to be able to do this motion. So it's just a simple like finishing move like that. Yeah, so from here, I'm pushing, I'm moving my hips back. And let's say he manages to get an arm in, great, thank you. Look for the wrist, get the Kimura grip, pin it to his hip. Lift your hips up, and we do this. Okay, so pushing forward with the bottom leg. I'm like wedging my foot deep to the hip. Hold it, ballerina foot, pin. Switch the hip. Throw the closest leg above the head. Use that to lift him. And notice it's not just lifting, but it's lifting and pinning. So he cannot open his leg, his head to the other side. This gives you time. And worst case scenario, like, man, I can't finish this person. 1, 2. And you control the side control. Sounds good? Yeah? Let's go, guys. 2 and 2. You wanna see? It's kind of, you gotta get the Kimura, push the hip, yeah? And then do the same thing for your leg, okay? It's either you get the Kimura right away, or the person feeds their own arm into your arm, okay? Either you go over the arm, yep, good, nice. Maybe we're facing this direction.